They started as a thought became a notion begat a dream, and a dream, reality. Join us as we look at the behind-the-scenes life of the St. Gabriel Youth Band, Facedown. Come with us as we explore the story of how one band overcame the pressures of exploding onto the music scene. Discover the highs, the lows, the victories and the addictions, the laughter and the fighting. Join us for Facedown, Behind the Music. Paul Hoover's life began in a small town in Southern California.
That when I actually was born there, I did have a guitar in my hand, which was kind of an oddity.
But his talents would soon outgrow that small town.
Played around a lot when I was a kid, LA Philharmonic, just random kind of gigs like that, just trying to make it as a kid, and just really trying to make ends meet, just playing all over the world really, and playing in symphonic orchestras and rock bands, and hip hop groups.
Natasha, the original female vocalist of Facedown's career, began on the talent show circuit.
Growing up, my parents, I guess, noticed really quickly that I had some sort of talent. My mom kind of jumped the gun and decided that she was going to be a typical stage mom.
When she was about 3, I started taking her to Junior Miss in Houston.
Gonna be a star, gonna go far, gonna get a car.
and she took probably runner-up.
Always told me, "Oh, you're so talented," and would always tell my mom. And she just had me in the talent show circuit and in voice lessons and acting class and all those sort of things. And then I did Star Search, and yeah, I did okay.
She's been on Star Search. She was up against Britney Spears.
Chris Fong, the original guitarist of Facedown, always had a passion for the guitar.
I was born in China, actually, in a little village right out of Saigon. But I don't really remember much of it because we came over and we were really young. My family and I we kind of hitched a ride on a floating rice paddy. I guess my dad wanted to see Disneyland or something. So, but when we got here, we settled down in Alhambra, and I just remember being surrounded by music as a kid. I took piano lessons for a long time, but I didn't really discover my true love, which is the guitar, until I was probably about junior high.
Facedown began with a dream from a man named Steve Ballantyne.
Well, I went out to look for just the absolute best in musicianship that was available for us to start something other than what we had to bring us up into the new century, something a little bit more contemporary. So I went on a mission to find the best that was available and to put something together that would eventually turn into something as great as we know it as Facedown.
I was in Zimbabwe, I believe, traveling with a hip hop group, and that's where I ran into Steve Ballantyne. He has a summer home there in Zimbabwe.
Was able to recruit him as really our first member. He has kind of a hip-hop style background, but I felt like I could work with that and mold him into what I needed him to be.
Greg Golden, despite his age difference from the rest of the band, was an integral part of the band's formation.
Well, probably one of my greatest influences was just the years I spent being a wedding singer, and at that point, really the idol that I had, the person I modeled myself after was Barry Manilow, and just that type of incredibly deep music I think had a profound influence on me and my styles.
Well, Greg, I actually met at the bar mitzvah. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the Schmickelstein bar mitzvah. Greg, a lot of people don't know this, Greg is actually a Schmickelstein. Golden is his stage name. He had some sort of theory that if he changed his name to Golden, then he'd get a gold record or something.
Facedown drummer Jeremy Farrell always seemed to be destined to have a stellar career playing the drums.
Well, Jeremy's first job was at the library. He decided that that would be a good place to get his start and make some money so he could fund him the things he likes to do.
They just got sick of me tapping and everything, you know. I was like, triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it. You know, I couldn't help myself.
Jeremy's family is good friends with our family, and I don't like to make a big deal of this, and I normally don't make it public. So maybe we should just kind of stop rolling film, and I'll say this off the record. But Jeremy doesn't actually play an instrument. Even our concerts, he plays to a drum track that I lay down for him. The guy couldn't count to 4 if he had to.
He just starts talking to me and starts asking me about the drums and how long I've played, and if I ever gave the thought of being in a band, like if I ever thought I would ever want to play in a band.
We should probably start the film again. On the record, Jeremy is one of the most promising young musicians that I've had the privilege of working with.
One day I was just playing my guitar outside the health food store. It's normal. And this guy comes up and he's asking about buying some stuff from the health food store, but he came after hours, so he was really disappointed that they were closed. Apparently he had lost a bet and he was trying to lose like 200 pounds in 2 weeks.
He was playing his guitar. He likes to pretend he was working at the store. I actually had a conversation later with the managers and found out that they just mostly tolerated his presence. He was kind of a nuisance. Didn't know much about health food. He was somewhat emaciated, and they felt like that at least by being around they might be able to feed him a little bit and let him play his guitar out front.
We just started talking, and he was a really nice guy, and he mentioned about how he had a spot open in this band he was putting together. I guess he was like the Lou Pearlman of worship music.
He wasn't going anywhere. We both knew that, and yet I saw some raw talent there. I was able to take him aside. I gave him some personal lessons. I was able to show him some basic leads and some basic chord structure, and eventually I just saw the potential in Chris, really. And Chris, more than anything, was a project.
And so one thing led to another, and I just came to practice one day, and that's where it all started.
Natasha, I'm not ashamed to admit I'm kind of a big Ed McMahon fan, and anything Ed McMahon does, I watch. And I was flipping through one night, and lo and behold, the new version of Star Search was on, and there was this young girl just doing her best to sing her heart out for Ed and the boys, and we had the chance to hear her, and I immediately called up Ed and asked how I could get a hold of this girl. I just had to have her as soon as I heard her singing. What song was that? I believe it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I knew that that was the person for us. So I contacted Ed and eventually was able to contact Tosh and recruit her to be part of this.
We just started playing together, and we just took it from there. It was really cool in the beginning. I really liked it.
When we return, the band is forced to cut loose one of its own.
I felt like his desires were really going a different direction. He was a little bit counterproductive to the overall vision.
From then on, it was like he was the ugly duckling in the group.